Entonces, ahora sí, ¿sí me oye?
Sí, está
Okay.
mute el mío ahorita, ¿ok?
Yo también lo oigo a usted. Muy
¿Sí
bien.
me oye?
Sí,
Pero entonces está mute ahorita.
unmuted right now. Y usted lo puede hacer
Oh,
mute otra vez. Ahí está. Es todo.
ok, entonces ya sé, ahora sí dice mute y también dice stop video.
Exactamente. Entonces, como le quise explicar ayer, lo que va a pasar cuando llega el hora de closed session, los voy a
Ujú,
meter a un otro cuarto separado y le va a
ajá.
salir una notificación diciendo accept invitation to closed session break room y más lo pone que sí. Y ahí va a ser
Oh,
es un meeting room que más son ustedes.
ok. Entonces vamos a tener esa opción en una little screen, ¿o qué?
Ahí mismo, entonces lo va a
Ahí-
cambiar a un cuarto que más son ustedes.
oh, ok.
Fácil, fácil.
Fácil, fácil. ¿Y me puedes mirar bien así o se ocupa la luz prendida?
No, no, se ve bien, se ve
Mm,
perfecto. Y se
ujú.
oye bien también, entonces es exactamente lo que queremos.
Entonces, va a ser el mismo sistema cuando queremos hablar, o ustedes nos van a decir que hablar y hacemos unmute para poder hablar.
Sí, y si algo pasa, pues yo los hago unmute también, pero con que más sean ustedes, no debe de haber interferencia. Esto
Ujú,
es más como la audiencia, si tenemos mucha audiencia para poderlos callar.
ujú. Pero aquí en esta pantalla no va a estar la agenda, nomás es para poder hablar y mirarnos, ¿verdad?
Ya, sí lo voy a
O también
tener,
aquí.
sí lo voy a tener, ahorita a ver, espérese.
Entonces aquí puedo hacer scroll down la agenda y todo.
No, lo va a tener que tener
Ujú.
ahí juntos. No, si le dio Angie la de en la imprimida.
Sí, la tengo en mi teléfono,
eh,
pero no es iPhone, es Android.
lo que yo voy
Me
a,
tengo la hard copy.
ajá, lo que va a ver usted, si lo va a poder ver, a ver, ahora sí. Si ve esa pantalla,
Sí. ¿Tú la vas a ir cambiando o no?
sí,
Una pregunta. Oh, ok.
sí.
Ujú. ¿Ya todos están listos? ¿Todos tomaron su clase? ¿O falta alguien?
Nomás falta Ramírez, es el único que no tuve chance, pero ya los demás sí.
Oh, ujú. Pero si agarró ya su tablet, su
Sí,
laptop.
su
Sí.
laptop y su información y todo.
Oh, ujú. Mm,
Pero pues es lo más práctico que podemos hacer ahorita.
ujú. ¿No supiste nada siempre de los finance? Apenas nos los mandaron ahora, pero preguntaron también que si queríamos los warrants, que si queríamos mejor posponerlos hasta la siguiente junta. Yo le dije a Melissa que para mí era mejor si lo ponían no en esta, pero hasta la otra, para poderlos mirar con más tiempo.
Pues sí
Pero no sé
puse,
no sé qué decidieron los demás del concilio.
van a tener chance de platicarlo. Aquí se mira, sí lo puse yo en el paquete porque me dijo Angie que lo metiera, pero más que
Ujú.
más es las finanzas y no los warrants.
Oh,
Sí lo ve allí.
sí, sí, lo estoy mirando. Dale, ahí está mejor, estaba muy chiquito.
Entonces,
Ya,
más es, hay más son las finanzas.
ujú.
No,
Están
no era
marcando
otra
los
cosa, pero
cheques.
ya esa es decisión de ustedes.
Ujú. Ya, porque yo pienso que es importante, ya han estado recibiendo reembolsos de lo que ha estado gastando la ciudad para los grants, o todavía no.
Unos sí, yo sé que ya los metieron, los mandaron al estado, pero no creo que los hemos recibido para atrás. Sí sé que ya
Oh,
los metimos.
ujú. Ok. Y por eso es que las expensas están saliendo más altas que normal, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Es por eso.
Es que pues falta mucho que se nos debe. Ahí dice CDBG, todo
Ujú,
eso es parte.
ujú. Ya. Pues está bien.
Ya, sí, ojalá que sí nos vaya bien.
Pues
Y
ahorita si no me salgo aquí ya me quedo, ¿no? Me tendría que salir y volver a entrar. O nomás hacerlo mute.
si quiere, nomás apaga la cámara y hágase mute y esperar las 5 o 10.
No,
Yeah.
ok.
Que ahorita pues no, estamos más esperando y alistando para todo.
Ujú. Todos confirmaron la asistencia hoy.
Sí, todos
No,
van a estar.
a ver, voy a calarle aquí. Ok.
Right here. It's not working? Do you want a USB-C to USB-C? Do you think that will help Tether or no?
I don't have USB-C on that
Okay.
one. So.
Do you know how to make it? You're gonna go to settings and then go to personal hotspot and just leave it there for a minute until it shows up. Because
Okay.
sometimes that's dumb about it.
Okay.
You have to have both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on.
Yeah. Thank you. The stream should be live right now, but it's only running at like
Nothing. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, it'll get better throughout the night once people get off of the right.
I know.
Sí, sí está trabajando bien. El Little
Sí,
Tricky.
nomás es agarrarle la maña, si no está tan complicado.
Ujú.
Ya cuando le tienen la maña, pues ya.
Y más o menos van a saber ustedes cuántas personas de la comunidad están a login en la junta o no.
En el Zoom sí, y también va a estar broadcast o streaming en el Facebook. Ahí
Oh,
Humberto se va a encargar de ese para que la gente
En el,
también pueda verlo ahí.
en el Facebook va a estar en la regular Facebook o
Ujú.
tienen que buscarlo nomás, ¿no?
No, va a estar en la página de events y lo vamos a estar compartiendo para que otros lo compartan.
Mm, ok, está bien.
Y ya nomás es hacerlo, si no es tanto.
Ya tenemos 15 minutos. Está
Sí.
bien. Mm. ¿Te ha parado el trabajo allá en la community center?
No, andan terminando las paredes y las ventanas, más que por la lluvia no han podido terminar completamente. Ah,
Ajá.
Fernando va a tener un poquito más información sobre eso.
Debe estar también en la video.
Ujú.
¿Qué le vais? Está bien. ¿Y más trabajo para ti o te estás ahorita haciendo catch up ya con todo?
Pues he estado tratando de ayudar con todo esto del Zoom y la distribución ayer y muchos otros detallitos.
Ujú. Bien. Está bien. Aquí no han habido noticias como Huron del coronavirus.
No, todavía no. Gracias a Dios.
Eh, no, sí, porque ya con un caso que pase, está expuesto a contaminar muchas más personas.
Exactamente, sí.
Mm. La pregunta que les hice la otra vez, no sé si tú estabas allí, que de las 120 casas nuevas que van a hacer allá enfrente de Arroyo del Camino,
Sí,
que quién había escogido el lugar. Porque yo había hablado con Fernando y también le dije que cuando la ciudad puede escoger el lugar, creo que debemos escoger un lugar que va a beneficiar doblemente, que puede acomodar las casas, pero también puede financiar infraestructura. Supongamos allí en la área que hemos estado peleando, que no tiene calle ni nada de eso, banquetas y eso, está bien cerquitas de allí, pero no sé cuál fue, no sé si ese lugar fue visto y estaba muy chico o cuál fue la razón que se escogió el otro lugar.
yo creo honestamente nada más era que estaba disponible. Es que estos, los que lo están haciendo, pues ellos ven que es lo más um, beneficioso para ellos
Ujú.
económicamente.
Porque como no sé si entiendes mi punto de vista, allí enfrente de ese lote, entre la Unión y la Corcorán, que es donde están los lotes
Ujú.
que ya tienen dueños y quieren construir y no han podido construir precisamente porque no tienen los fondos para poner calle y banqueta y todo eso. Entonces, si se desarrollara enfrente, así como se va a desarrollar allá, creo que sería un beneficio doble.
Sí, 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 lo entiendo. Lo que, pues, como lo que siempre llega es lo económico de quién lo va a pagar.
Ujú.
Porque es,
Entonces, para mí fue un poquito sorpresa que ya tenían escogido el lugar, ya venían con todo y nosotros nunca nos dimos cuenta que andaban buscando un lugar y podíamos haber tratado de persuadirlos a que trataran de agarrar allí, ¿sí me entiendes? Para que así estuviera.
moment, I will ask everyone just to, kind of guess where a flag is, and we'll stand, and I'll just lead us on the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, so you'll stand with me, please. So, ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you and welcome all to our city council meeting. I'm grateful for all this technology, Tony and Humberto, who have set us up to make this possible. So welcome all. Roll call, Ms. Angie.
Councilman Preciado. Councilman Preciado.
Present here.
Mayor Pro Tem Willie.
Here.
Mayor Ovalle.
Here.
Council Member Hernandez. Council Member Ramirez.
Yeah.
Again, Council Member Hernandez.
Here.
Okay, we have all council members present.
Very good. We have quorum. If you'll read that paragraph,
This
please.
meeting is being recorded.
FYI, sorry.
It'll be Government Code Section 54952.3. The members of the City Council successor agency are entitled to receive a total of $300 per month because of being elected to the City Council. They receive no other compensation for sitting as a member of the successor agency.
Very good. Thank you. So at this moment, we will be going into closed session. And we'll let the public know if there are any decisions made.
And just to let the public know, closed session will go on until about 6 p.m. or until they're ready. So we'll have a splash screen here. And once this closed session is concluded, we'll give everyone about 3 minutes to join back in. You can stay on the line. There'll just be a screen and everyone will be muted until closed session is over. So, where's the Hello all, just a 5-minute warning. We'll be starting up the council meeting right at 6. Council's out of closed session, so they'll be able to start right at 6.
Hi, Alvaro. Hi, Melissa. You guys are muted, so can't hear you.
Oh, Alfonso.
Mhm.
Okay.
One second. Still trying to figure this out.
We are too, Alfonso. It's okay.
Mhm. Oh, there you go.
Hi.
See, we can see you.
We're still
There you
here.
go.
Tony, I need to talk to you for a moment.
Mhm. Hey, I hope it doesn't become the new norm.
Join audio last one, and you click that. As to what we're doing here and what Umberto was doing down at the theater.
You can hear them?
Know that we're doing what we can to comply.
Yeah.
Because it's too frustrating.
Don't get used to it.
I know, huh?
Oh yeah, of course.
If you would, so, I mean, I want everyone to see it all, and I also want to. Yeah, no. Okay, well, here it's.
It's like if we were in the actual room.
Yes. Okay, no, we're good. If you would, that's all I'd like you to do.
Thank you. Can I minimize this?
And the view option.
Okay. Hi, Dawn.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, not a problem.
I was asking Tony to explain how the meeting is set up, what he and Umberto have done to make sure that we meet the requirements for open meeting. So I want to commend both of them. They've done a great job putting this together. Anyway, he'll be explaining how this is all working.
Thank you, Humberto. So we move on to item number 3, which is Community Development and Planning Activity Report. Fernando? You're muted, Fernando.
You need to unmute.
Thank you. Just a quick update about what we've been doing at Community Development. As you know, Tony has been helping quite a bit with the, Tony and Humberto have been working quite a bit to get our city council meetings online. And we've kind of been doing things as we've been asked in terms of helping the community, in terms of, food distributions, getting things online, spreading information about small businesses. I know there's a lot of small business resources that are coming out right now at the federal level, the state level, and local, regional level also. So we're just staying abreast of those items and making sure that our businesses are aware of what's out there. As far as our projects go, obviously our community center, the big one, we are just resuming construction this week. Obviously the weather has delayed construction significantly, but the crew was able to get out there a couple of days this week, and they installed the windows in the back, and then they started sheeting the front of the building. So hopefully we can get some break with the weather and let things dry off a little bit so that they can continue working out there. We've been working with the basketball goal contractor, and he's planning on having the basketball goals out here sometime in May, and hopefully they'd be installed by the end of May. We are working with CDBG on our $3.5 million application to continue construction on the community center. We did submit the application last month, and it's under review. There were some glitches with CDBG's application process. They went fully online for their applications, and so we're just working with them on addressing some of the things that didn't, get sort of attached when we had to upload documents, and so we're working with them on that. As Scott mentioned, the Alvarado Group is still moving forward with their subdivision, and so once the map is recorded pending the council's approval, they'll begin grading at the site and start getting that area ready for construction of the public improvements and the homes themselves. Let's see. We are still working on acquiring easements from the owners that are along the alignment for the pipeline replacement project, the 18-inch water transmission line. And so we've already secured one agreement with Legacy Development, who owns one of the largest parcels out there. So we're working on 2 other property owners, one being CRC, California Resources Corporation, and the other one being the Marchini Group, who owns a couple of different parcels out there. So we're working. We haven't heard much from the state in terms of an updated timeline for a construction grant agreement. That was supposed to come back in January, but I think with everything going on, that's been significantly delayed for a lot of different people. So we're just hoping for an update soon on that so we can start construction. Our original timeline was for the summer to start construction, and we are planning still according to that timeline. Our environmental contractor has been out there doing pre-construction surveys, and so we're going to continue those until we hear otherwise from the state. And we are still waiting for an agreement from the California State Parks Department for our new kids park, which we were awarded almost $800,000 for a new park behind the boxing club. So once we have that in hand, we'll start the procurement process for the engineers for the playground, and we'll go from there. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Fernando? Okay. So thank you, Fernando.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we move on to item number 4, which is Avenal Police Department report. Chief?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're very good.
You're on.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. You have your February report in front of you. Just want to highlight a few cases of the month. Obviously, Investigator Garcia investigated burglary in the 200 block of East San Joaquin Street, where a couple of kids' Xboxes and controllers and games were taken from inside the house. He received some investigative leads and provided 2 names of the potential suspects. When he and his team went to the house, the suspects were actually playing on the victims' Xboxes as they walked inside the house. So the property was returned and 2 kids were cited for burglary. The third bullet point down, Officer Billy Stride completed a very lengthy sexual assault investigation where a male was allegedly taking advantage of Avenal residents, women who had substance abuse problems. Officer Stride was able to make a sexual assault arrest and booked the suspect into jail. The Central Valley Regional SWAT team was out in February to serve 2 search warrants, high-risk search warrants, looking for a sawed-off shotgun, which were possessed by alleged gang members. 2 suspects were arrested, and we recovered the shotgun around the middle of March at another address. So that's about it for the month of February. I just wanted to point out to Mr. Ramirez, I think this is my first monthly report in front of you. So if you go to page 4, 5, and 6, those are printouts from our records management system. On page 4 and 5, it just lists the 919 calls that we were responded to that month, and that doesn't necessarily mean those are the calls we're dispatched to. It doesn't mean necessarily what the calls were at the end of the call. So I just wanted to bring you up to speed on that. And then the last page is a breakdown of the calls for service by day of the week and by each hour of the day. So you can clearly see Saturday is a very busy day, at least it was in February. And just wanted to point that out to you. Occasionally I put that last sheet in there. So anybody have any questions?
Questions for the chief?
Yes, I have one, not particularly on this report, but on the outside of the police department, I noticed that the telephone doesn't work. I was thinking if somebody has a genuine emergency for which they don't have a phone and they come to us, can we get that operational by any chance?
Yeah. When did you notice that? Because the AT&T was out here a couple of weeks ago hooking it up or re-hooking it up.
I believe it was about a week and a half ago, probably.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it, but we do get calls from it now. But there was a period of time where it was down. So
okay,
definitely check it. I'll check on it tonight after the meeting. I'll call out there.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just cover something too in regard to the COVID-19 situation that's brewing. Obviously, the safety of first responders and their are obviously of utmost importance, as well as the community. But just so you know, the other chiefs and I and the sheriff have a plan in place in case one of our agencies manpower significantly depletes due to a quarantine period. So there's a plan in place to have our people go to another agency if it happens, and another agency to come out to us as well. So the other chiefs and I and the sheriff are committed to public safety for the whole county during this period. So I just wanted to pass that along.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chief. Any other questions for our chief? Comments? Okay. Seeing none, we move on to item 7B. Item number 1, Mid-Valley Disposal 2019 fourth quarter activity.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, you're on.
Hi, Tony, if you could allow Mariana to share because my laptop wasn't working.
This meeting is being recorded.
Not sure. There it goes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start our recycling updates. All right, thank you, everybody. We are going to go over updates regarding the new legislation, AB 1826, and commercial site assessments, some contamination updates, as well as events in the community, and some new legislation that is coming soon to us starting this year and next year as well. AB 1826, we've heard a lot about this law requiring businesses to divert food waste and green waste from the trash or the landfill. And our new recycling coordinator, Mariana, she's with me here tonight, and she's put this PowerPoint together as well. She is working with each of the businesses and the schools, as well as the multifamily properties, to assure that they are in compliance. Here, I'm showing some of the places, locations that coordinators have stopped by to visit to either assess recycling, but also to give them information about the new law, AB 1826, and let them know what that means to them. So any food waste generator, like a restaurant or a cafe or a bakery, is going to be knowledgeable about AB 1826, and also will let them know if they have to implement based on the amount of food waste that they throw away each week. But you can see here, Family Dollar, is doing a great job, as well as Chevron. The commercial outreach, as you know, we go door to door, and we have not done that since the COVID-19 and the orders of social distancing. So these 76 site visits all occurred prior to that, either later part of last year into January, February. And of course, as I mentioned, we're always making sure they're up to date about the legislative recycling laws 341 and 1826. In addition to contamination, we are checking the containers to make sure that there's low contamination. And if we see a high increase, then we'll go ahead and provide posters and even speak to the businesses and the employees that are there the day that we stop by to go over what our findings are. Some of the businesses that we visited include the Cafe Gallery, Super Burger, and the Chevron and Family Dollar. The multifamily visits were helpful this time around. We were able to meet with the property owners. There was 27 site assessments that were done, like I mentioned, from the later part of last year to the first 2 months of this year. We were able to assist with some bulky item issues. We noticed, and this is not just with Avenal, many multifamily properties are dealing with either mattresses thrown out and placed either on the side of the trash or recycling. Sometimes they even throw it, these bulky items like mattresses and furniture, inside our containers, and we're not able to pick them up. So working and connecting with the property owners is very important, so we have a contact person and we can take care of it very quickly. We are helping the city of Avenal to increase recycling efforts by having a contamination program. It's ongoing with our drivers as well as our recycling coordinators. And this graph is showing you the overview of each month of the number of tags that were placed on a recycling container. And residents are receiving education. So we're tagging, but we're also mailing information to them or calling them by phone if possible to talk to them about the contamination tag they received on the recycling container. Here are examples of our brochures, our flyers that we distribute, and we make sure to always have these flyers at City Hall because we know a lot of the residents usually stop by to pay their bill. We know that this month has not been that type of activity going on. So we are trying to get creative in different ways to educate the public currently and maybe into the next month. So we'll keep you up to date on how we're doing that. C&D data, construction and demolition recycling is always a very important program to the city because the state, it really does promote cities to divert construction and demolition material. They want, the state of California will come and visit and ask the city staff and Mid-Valley specific questions in regards to diversion of C&D projects. So here is a slide showing you each month and the number, the tons that were diverted for each individual month. And our goal is to continue to work with the city and the contractors in town. We know that it's very easy for them to take it to Avenal landfill. So that's going to be a challenge. But when contractors have green waste or wood waste, we really want to educate them to take it to Kachurgan Farms. So that way it is diverted and composted instead of placed at the landfill. Some of the events that took place at the end of the year, Operation Gobble Gobble was a success. We had a recycling coordinator out there with Isaac, our district manager, and gave out some turkey and Thanksgiving feasts. So that was a lot of fun. In addition to giving a donation for the community during this event. And here's some pictures to go with it. There's Isaac and also our group with that was there with the volunteers. That was really nice. We'll do that each year. Household hazardous waste is consistent in these months of people not knowing where to place syringes, even expired medication, but it's really nice that in town there is a location for residents to take it to, which is convenient. And we are wanting to continue the education so they make sure they don't put it in the trash or the recycling or even their organics container. So the Avenal Police Department has these drop-off bins and they're secured and it's easy and convenient for the residents of Avenal. So we want to make sure this gets out as much as possible. One of the upcoming regulations that are going to affect the residents of Avenal is SB 1383. This law is going to tag on to AB 1826, and it's going to require the residents to divert food waste from their households. So if they compost in their backyard, that does count as a diversion program. But if they don't compost in their own backyard, then this law is going to require residents to place food scraps along with their green waste inside the organics cart that they have at home. So we started a fun little activity that we hope during the month of April, the residents are able to get the information because it's a contest. We called it the Organics Residents Contest. And what it is, it entails the residents to place food waste inside their organics cart. And we are going to give prizes out. So I believe the information is going out through the utility bill with a flyer providing the guidelines of this contest. It's a fun way to introduce food waste going inside the organics without getting very technical about the law. And so we're hoping this is the introduction to letting residents know that it's okay to put food waste inside the organics cart. This is just providing the slide is giving us more information about SB 1383 and the goals that the reasons and behind adopting this regulation is to reduce the emissions in the atmosphere. And it just means additional waste reduction, such as food banks, diverting food waste from the schools, and making sure that the food waste that is generated in town is kept out of the landfill. AB 1827 is actually going to be adopted and passed. It's going to be effective this year, July 1st, 2020. This law is requiring any restaurant that is like a fast food restaurant and you get to order and eat in their front of the house to place containers so that you and I can place our bottles of water that are empty and any food left over inside an recycling food waste container. So we can't just throw our tray of food scraps that we didn't finish either at a McDonald's, Burger King, or any type of restaurant that doesn't have a waiter or waitress helping us. If it's a full service restaurant, it's not, those type of restaurants are not required to comply with AB 1827. It's only if we go in order and we have to dispose of our food waste on our own. Those types of restaurants are going to be required to set up a recycling, trash, and an organics container under this regulation. We have postponed currently our cleanup events that we assist cities with. I know with Avenal it's a little different, but we do plan a senior pickup during that time. So we have a date that is going to be suspended, and we'll provide you updates onto when that is going to be taking place. Due to COVID-19, we had to unfortunately suspend a lot of these special events that residents rely on. But we hope to have an upcoming date soon so we can go ahead and help our seniors out in the community of Avenal. And that is all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Is there any questions?
This is Mayor Pro Tem Woolley. I have a question.
Hi.
We got to get some definitions on these words. You kept talking about the organic cart.
Mm-hmm.
That?
The organic cart is a new term. You are absolutely correct. I'm using it more often because I want to get used to our customers, our residents, our business owners getting used to that term as well. But organics is basically defined as the cart that we know as the green waste cart. So green waste is now defined under organics. And organics is defined as food and green waste, food scraps and green waste.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Is there any other questions? Okay, well, thank you for your information and presentation.
Thanks for having us. It's great to see those of you that are on the video. Hope everybody's staying safe and healthy.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
We hope to see you guys soon. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We should do the same.
Okay. So with that, we move on to item B2, which is the King's Ivan, identifying violations affecting neighborhoods presentation. Veronica Aguirre.
Hi, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay. And I was on my phone and on the computer, and I thought, well, if you can't hear me, I'll just go to one or the other. So I'm going to hang up now. I think, Anthony, were you going to share my screen, or how are we going to do this?
Do you have it ready on your computer?
Yeah.
Okay, I just made you a co-host, so accept that and do share screen.
Okay. Where?
Right at the very middle, bottom middle, it says share screen.
Hold on a sec.
Then I'll ask you what window you want to share.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, so good evening, Mayor and City Council and everyone else on the call. Thank you for having me here tonight from the comfort of everyone's probably living room, I guess, maybe. I came on because I wanted to discuss our Ivan Community Network, which is called Identifying Violations Affecting Neighborhoods, Ivan, and which is a self-reporting tool and is an online resource that allows members of the community to report any environmental violations that are occurring around them to the proper authorities. The Ivan program also contains an environmental justice task force that meets once a month to discuss reported incidents and and the follow-ups by authorities with community members. The IVAN program brings together community, regulatory agencies, and environmental justice advocates to provide a better environment for all through conversations and a forum to discuss accountability. So at the first page, I just pretty much said, what does it mean to be healthy, right? And then healthy together. And this kind of, these are some of the partners that are in. We're part of an IDLIC. It's called an IDLIC coalition, and we have various partners that there's a different IVAN in different areas, starting from Coachella, Imperial Valley, Tulare, Kings, Kern. We have a number of IVANs, which I'll show you later on as we speak. So when you go to our Kings IVAN network, here's our website. The website that you see right here, you can issue reports that have anything, you know, from various different types of topics. And this is why it is important. Using the Kings IVAN, you can report environmental violations to the right people. It is anonymous unless you want to give your information. It is both in English and Spanish. And you can report at any time, day or night. And you can also track your report and agency response. So in Kings IVAN, it's not government. So if it's an emergency, obviously you need to call 911. We always recommend that you report to the agency first. So say it's like an air issue or a concern, you obviously would contact the San Joaquin Air Pollution District, you know, or if it's in regards to pesticide drift, you'll want to contact the Department of Pest Control Regulation, who has also a you know, an app that you can go called Casper, and you could issue your reports there. We recommend that you also do it through Kings IVAN because it ensures accountability and transparency. So examples of issues to report: illegal dumping of trash or motor oil, agricultural burning, drifting pesticide, unusual emissions from smokestacks, chemical spills, flooding, odors from dairies, lack of traffic lights and stop signs, unsafe workplaces, damaged roadways, and water contamination. These are just a few examples of things that, you know, that people can report on our IVAN network. And how does it work? So you could text the number that you could text us, you can email, you could call, you could do it online, and we also meet every second Wednesday of the month from 2 to 4. And we do it we have a conference line as well as in-person meetings. Right now we had one yesterday, and we obviously didn't have an in-person meeting, but we did have a conference line available. Just to give an example, the people that came on, you know, to our meeting, we had Cal Recycle, we had Cal EPA, we had the US EPA, we had the Water District, we had Department of Pest Control Regulation, we had DTSC, they were on the call, and just a number, the Department of Conservation was on the call. We also had Kings County on the call. So it's just a number of people. We had a few members of different communities like Kettleman City, because we are Kings IVAN. So we actually deal with any city within Kings County. And they're welcome to get on the call and, you know, and address any issues or just listen in. Maybe they had issued a report and they want to find out what the outcome was. And it also gives you a chance, if you have a question, you get a chance to actually have a conversation with somebody from a different state agency, and it's making those connections. So that's important. What to include in your IVAN report. So on that's how things happen. That's how
This
changes
meeting
are
is
always
being
good,
recorded.
you know, because that's how we all, there's not a lot of, I don't know, what would you say? Like the county, Kings County, Hanford has, you know, all the Kings County, you know, everybody there, right? So we're trying, what we're trying to do is really trying to focus on the disadvantaged communities that don't have the ability to voice different concerns, and working with the local officials, state officials, and all these agencies, and building a team between the community and the agencies so they can work together and they understand what some of these concerns are, you know. And I do remember that was the toxic tour that we took, and we're actually planning another one. We're hoping to this coming year, with if everything goes well, and we'll let you all know when that's coming. But we and all it is just bringing awareness so that people understand. You know, I know that they had mentioned about the area out here outside of Avenal. There was a lot of pictures where people were doing illegal dumping. We're actually working on something right now with Cal Recycle and illegal dumping, and we're hoping to
Okay, I'm back in line. Was there any other questions for Ms. Aguirre or comments about her presentation? Okay, hearing none, we move on to item number 8, which is public comment and announcements and scheduled appearances. City Clerk, will you please read that paragraph?
Yes, I will do that. Any person may directly address the City Council agency on this time on any items on the agenda or any other item of interest of the public that is within subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council successor agency. State law prohibits any member of the City Council agency from commenting or acting on matters not on the agenda. 3 minutes are allowed per person.
Thank you. Is there any comment? I know, Chief, you mentioned that you needed time for during public comment.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I was going to let the public go first if there's any comments
Okay,
from the public.
very good.
Yeah, if you don't mind me interjecting, so what we're gonna do first is, I know there's someone on telephone who'd like to comment, and then if anyone who's on the Zoom meeting right now, either you guys can turn on your video and write it in the chat, and then we'll give you a chance to speak, or you can just write the question in the chat and I will read it for you. So we'll start off first with anyone on the phone. So give me 1 second. Let's see, Alicia.
Anthony, I'm on, if you guys can hear me.
So state your name and all that good stuff.
Ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So good evening, everyone. My name is Alicia Jacobo, and I'm a senior field rep for State Senator Melissa Hurtado. Just want to thank everyone for accommodating the community. You know, it's new times, a new era, and so I think we all understand why we need to. Thank you. Thank you.
So I'll interject real quick. I know we have a few other guests over the phone, so if any of you would like to speak, you have to press *6. We'll give you 30 seconds if you'd like to say anything. No, then we'll go on to, I know we have a few other comments. Just give it a few more seconds. All right. I know the next person who would like to comment is Veronica. So if you're still on, just go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay.
And
yes. I wanted to bring something to your attention that I've noticed. I've actually noticed well before the the COVID-19, the pandemic. But I also wanted to bring to your attention, there's so many people on like social media and places like that that are selling things, like selling food and offering, selling haircuts, you know, willing to come to your home. And I'm just wondering if that should be a concern, if they are following all the proper safety measures, and you know, if this is actually something that should be done. And also, I also wanted to mention that I know that our local businesses that already have an establishment, that have overhead, that follow all the rules, get the permits and licensing, health and, you know, food safety codes, and they're following everything. I kind of think this is unfair to them when people are selling, you know, the same kind of stuff without any of the, you know, if without having a location, without having the overhead and everything else, and maybe they're not even being safe. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up and seeing if there's something that the city could maybe look into. You know, if there, you know, and not that I don't want people to make money. I understand, you know, it's hard and everyone needs to try to find a way, but you know, I also think that, you know, as people, you know, our local businesses, we really need to try to protect them and keep them going as well. And when that gets out of hand, and you see people, I saw somebody on Facebook the other, or not, you know, on the marketplace, and they're selling pizzas, you know, and then you think of the gallery, and these are restaurants that also contribute to the community and contribute to organizations and functions and stuff like this, and then you see that, and I don't know, I just kind of find it unfair as well as unsafe. So I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. If I may, Mayor and members of council, thank you. And we will work with community development and our code enforcement on this. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that.
Thank you for that information, Ms. Aguirre. Anybody else? Comments, questions for Ms. Aguirre? Okay, Tony, next.
Anybody on the chat or video on Zoom? I think the only one left would be Rusty. We'll get just a quick announcement. We'll let Rusty go, but for those on Facebook, I know there's a lag, so I'm announcing it now. If you guys have a question, please type it in the comments of the video that you're watching right now. Humberto will share those with us if there are any questions or comments. Otherwise, we'll let Rusty go, and then we'll wait to hear from Humberto. If nothing, then we'll move on. So, Rusty, your turn.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm going to speak tonight as your Emergency Services Director for just a second. It's been a very tragic week in the nation. New York and California has seen a major increase in deaths due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's so important, more now than before, that we maintain our shelter-in-place rules and regulations provided by the governor's office. I know Easter holiday is coming up. I'm not here to take away the Easter holiday by any means, but I think we need to be smart and limit our social gatherings to a bare minimum. Hopefully the public will adhere to this so we can get through this thing together. We had, like I said, I might have said earlier, we had a party last weekend, 20 or 30 people there. And I just see this weekend as another outbreak of that as well. So, public peer pressure helps. That would certainly help us out as well. And we don't want to be the bad guy here. There's the governor talked about a social contract initially, and I think Avenal as a whole is doing a fairly decent job of it, but there's also room for improvement as well. Just want to remind everybody, shelter in place, cover your face, wash your hands, don't touch your face, as hard as that is sometimes. But as a community, it's a small community, strong community, and proud community, and we can get through this together. So if anybody has any questions for me, I'll certainly here to answer it.
Questions for the chief or comments?
I do have a question. So seeing next week as another crucial week, or are you planning on implementing additional restrictions to our community?
I have not planned that yet. I just, we do see gatherings outside stores and other establishments, and we are educating people to go shelter in place. I know some cities have. I don't know if we're there yet. It's something I can certainly talk with Melissa about. But the social gatherings in backyards and barbecues are kind of our priority right now.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the chief? Any questions from the chat room, Tony?
None at this time, so I'm just pass it over to Humberto. If you can let us know if anyone on the Facebook side has any questions.
All right, thank you.
Very good. Thank you. So we're moving on to item number 9. Thank you, Tony. Which is public hearing. Public hearing to consider ordinance to amend Avenal Municipal Code 64.08 regarding water services, charges, billings, and delinquencies in the city of Avenal.
Mayor, members of council, this is an item that Dawn Perkins is working on, so I'm going to ask that she present the report. Dawn, are you on the line?
I am. I'm trying to unmute.
Okay.
We have been working on this water shutoff policy for several months now, and due to the complexity of trying to mesh what is current, our current ordinance with the new policy that the state has brought out in SB 998, we are asking for a little bit more time and to table this until the next meeting so that we can finish meshing the two ordinances together.
Okay. Very good. Is there any questions for Dawn or comments?
I do have a question. Since the deadline for SB 988 was April 1st, are there any fines that the city will be expecting, or is there an extension of that being given to?
Not that I am aware of, Councilmember Preciado. However, executive order by the governor, the water shutoffs have been suspended until May 31st. We are not allowed to shut off utilities for anyone. So it is the thought that this gives us a little bit extra time, since that's what basically this water shutoff policy is to extend the amount of time that people have to pay or to request for payment arrangements in order to not have their water shut off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there are several cities that are still in the process of doing the same very thing, and it is their belief also that how horrible all of this is that's going on right now, this at least gives us a little bit of breathing room.
Yes, saying that, I also believe that it is for the best intent to have a fair policy for a community.
Yes.
If I may,
Any other?
Mayor, I do have a comment. This has been, the process has been very taxing. And yes, having the new regulations and the orders coming down from the state, understandable. It's a tough time for, many. But what we're having to do is to basically rewrite the policy on how we handle billing and delinquencies. And it's not easy. It's been a little bit difficult. We have a couple of examples that we're working from. Our attorney's office has worked very well with us, but it is confusing. So I want to thank Dawn. She has been working on this and really do appreciate her efforts, but we will have it to you hopefully by the next meeting, if not the meeting following. But we appreciate your patience with this. It is a very big undertaking, even though it looks small, it's not. It's very large and really will affect the way that we run business, but understandable. It's to help community members.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Is there any other questions or comments? If not, we need a motion to table this item for the next or the following meeting.
I do make a motion to table this item into next city council meeting.
That's the 23rd.
Mayor Ovalle, what we would ask is that the public hearing be continued, please.
Okay, very good. So that motion would need to be to continue public hearing as well.
So let's continue it to the 23rd because it's got to be continued to a date certain.
Well, okay, we're still under one meeting a month. Oh no, now since we have this, so we should be back to twice a month then.
That will depend on what council feels is appropriate. Understanding things are a little confusing at this time. We can certainly, if you would like, we can schedule a special meeting and maybe consider this one item, or council can look at continuing it to the first meeting in May.
Okay. So with that in mind, then we'll just consider this, if need be, as a special item, special meeting to deal with this item.
We could.
Otherwise, we'll wait till next month, the first meeting of the next month.
So we would continue till April 23rd. And if for some reason we do not meet, there is a process that we can follow to continue to the first meeting in May.
Sounds good.
Okay, is everyone in the council clear on this matter?
Yes.
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 Okay. Very good. Then we need a motion to table this item with continuing the hearing to the next meeting on the 23rd or the first meeting of May.
I do make that motion as presented.
Good. There's the first. Is there a second motion?
I will second it.
Okay. Thank you, Pablo. First and second, roll call, please.
Councilman Ramirez.
Aye.
Councilman Hernandez. Councilman Hernandez.
Aye.
Councilman Preciado.
Yes.
Mayor
Aye.
Tim Woolley.
Aye.
Mayor Ovalle.
Aye. So,
Councilman Ramirez. Again, Councilman Ramirez.
Aye.
Thank you.
so that's 5-0. It's been tabled. Okay, so we move on to item number 10, which is old business. And it is considered second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2020-01, ordinance amending Title IX of the Municipal Code by changing the zone classification from community commercial, high density residential, and open space park to low density residential R1 for the following real estate property.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This item, as you might recall, was first presented to the council at the last meeting on March 12th, and we introduced the ordinance change that would make possible the subdivision at the southeast corner of Corcoran and Kern Avenues for the Alvarado Group. And we are just recommending by motion that the council waive the second reading and adopt the ordinance number 2020-01, which would enact the ordinance and would cause the ordinance to take effect 30 days after its passage.
Very good. Any questions or comments? Okay. If not, we need a motion to pass resolution 2020-01.
I so move.
And waiving the reading, right?
Yes, with waiving the second reading. Is that your motion, Mrs. Woolley?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have a first. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have first and second.
Councilman Ramirez,
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilman Preciado,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Woolley, Mayor Ovalle,
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's 5-0.
The ordinance will go into effect in 30 days, and it will be published within 15 days. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Okay. With that, we move on to item 10B, which is consider extending local emergency declared on March 24th, 2020.
Yes, Mayor and members of council, on March 24th, 2020, the Avenal City Council took the action to declare a local emergency due to the existence of or threatened existence of a local emergency. That's specific wording, and this is regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. What we need is that the declaration to be reviewed and considered for one of two actions. One is to reaffirm that a local emergency continues to exist, or to make a finding that a local emergency no longer exists. If council chose to find that the emergency no longer exists, it would have to be by title resolution at this point. But based on what we have heard, what we're hearing in the news, I believe the local emergency should remain in effect. I would like to make just a few comments regarding this. The city of Avenal has experienced several emergencies over the past couple of decades, but we have never had an emergency that we could not see or physically see or touch. We've dealt with emergencies such as broken water lines, windstorms, even a couple of earthquakes. But this pandemic is quite different in that we always see our statistics. So it makes it a little bit different. Sometimes it's as though things looks as though they're not moving, but they truly are. That's why the EOC Center has established, even though our Director of Disaster Services is our chief, and he's saying, let's scale back the EOC calls to just once a week. We don't know where this is heading. We certainly don't, but I want to applaud the city and our community members for all that they're doing to hopefully keep the spread in Avenal. So just be assured that the city is taking, we believe, the necessary steps to protect our community. And anyway, thank you for allowing me that. I just wanted to point out that this is a bit frustrating because we don't see damage. What we see are statistics, and they're very concerning. So understanding, not knowing if we will be meeting the second regular meeting in April, if we're going to go to a meeting in May, what I'm asking is that the council consider the statement that is part of this staff report, which we have actually had in the past. This is for a drought, and it was Mr. Farley that actually drafted this language. But what it would allow is that it allows 21 days to extend the local emergency, and following the 21st day, there'd be another 21 days. So basically, we would be okay to extend the emergency for approximately 42 days before it would have to be considered by the city council again to either reaffirm or to state that it no longer existed. At the current time, we are required to review it every 14 days, but with the statement in place and action by council, we should be okay.
Okay.
So I just wanted to point that out. Thank you all.
Is there any questions or comments? And if not, we need by motion to extend the local emergency by 42 days.
To make a motion to extend the local emergency for 42 days.
Okay, there's a first. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have first and second. Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. Roll call, please.
Councilman Ramirez. Councilman Hernandez.
Aye.
Councilman Preciado.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Woolley. Mayor Ovalle.
All right. Okay, 5-0. So it's been extended for the next 42 days.
Thank
you. Okay, with that, we move on to section 11, new business. Item A, consider adopting 2 resolutions required by the State Water Resources Control Board as part of the city CWSRF application for the sanitary sewer collection system and the wastewater treatment plant improvement project.
Yes, Mayor, members of the council, good evening. This is Alfonso Manrique here. These 2 resolutions are part of the new application that we're going to be submitting for the sewer collection system improvements and wastewater treatment plant improvements. They are conventional resolutions that the state requires for this type of application. One is authorizing the city manager to sign and file the financial assistance application. The second one is stating that the city council will be reimbursed for expenditures incurred ahead of the approval of the disbursement request. Those are, like I said, 2 standard language applications that were already adopted when we submitted that for the solar project. These are for the second project. And with the adoption of the environmental documents last month, when Travis and I were there, now we have completed all the environmental packages, the technical package, and the application is ready to be submitted. So the only thing that prevents us from submitting that application is these 2 resolutions, these 2 standard resolutions authorizing the city manager to sign and file the application.
Very good. Is there any questions on this item or comments?
Yes, I have a question particularly on the improvements, what kind of improvements are going to be done on the sewer collection system and the water treatment plant?
So as part of these, the planning study that we prepared, there was we conducted a closed circuit television survey of the older parts of town, all the sewer collection lines. So we identified all those lines that were either damaged inside or had sags that prevented them from draining well. So those are documented in a report, in a technical report. And so those lines will either be, if feasible, they will be, whatever feasible, it will be lined with trenchless technologies. And whenever there's sags in the lines that unfortunately you can't do trenchless on those, there will be open trench and replace segments of those lines. So there is, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but there is some lines that need to be rehabbed and some lines that need to be replaced. And at the wastewater treatment plant, there are some valves that need to be replaced and some headworks. I think there's some headwork screen and the clarifiers to be being recoated. So there's things that over time have been the plant is aged and the sewer collection is aged, so it's just kind of catching up on those improvements.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
I would like to make a comment, Mayor, members of council, please.
Sure.
Just we want to thank Mr. Manrique I know we wouldn't have been able to inspect our lines probably in none of our lifetimes. I believe, I may be wrong, we have about, is it 160 miles of line or is it 81 miles of line? Is it 160, somewhere around there?
I think you're close to that, yeah.
Okay. Some of the line, the sewage line is the original line from the early 1930s, and some areas have collapsed. So we do not have funds, nor would we have funds for quite some time unless we looked at bonding out to actually pay for any type of repairs to this magnitude. So I want to thank Mr. Manrique for bringing this to our attention. I will also want to thank Public Works staff for their help in this, but this would be for us a perfect opportunity to take advantage of funds that would help us improve our system. Thank you.
So with this application now, we'll be requesting another $6 million grant from the state to pay for the repairs of all these improvements. It's all going to be 100% grant to pay for the repair of these improvements. And you've been very patient throughout the whole process. You submitted the solar application. It took about a year or a little bit over a year. So I would expect this will be about the same. So maybe by next year around this time, we'll be signing that funding agreement and getting ready to make these improvements.
Okay. Thank you.
I also would like to make a comment regarding, we've been very successful, like you mentioned, for videotaping those sewer lines. Was almost about $500,000 grant that we got, and I want to thank Alfonso Manriquez for, being dedicating time and working together to bring those grants, which bring a very positive funding flow to our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions or comments? Okay. If not, we need a motion to approve the two resolutions authorizing the city manager to sign and file financial assistance, and the resolution stating the city council intention to be reimbursed for expenditures incurred.
I would like to make a motion to read resolution 2016 and 2017. Is that correct?
No, it'll be 2017 and 2018.
Okay, so to make a motion as presented.
Okay, we have a first. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, that's the first and second. Thank you, Mrs. Woolley. Roll call, please.
Councilman Ramirez.
Aye.
Councilman Hernandez.
Aye.
Councilman Preciado.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Woolley. Mayor Ovalle.
Aye. Okay, 5-0. It's been approved. Thank you, Mr. Manriquez.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, Alfonso.
Okay, so we move on to item 11B, which is approval of track map 2020-01 Corcoran current subdivision and approval of subdivision improvement agreement for Corcoran current subdivision. Fernando, are you online? Oh, there you go.
Members of the council, as you might recall from the previous council meeting, there's a project underway by the Alvarado Group, also known as Avenal Developers LLC, to establish a subdivision at the southeast corner of Corcoran and Kern. And the council considered the environmental documents at the last meeting, which were also considered by the Planning Commission and approved by both bodies. Now we're at the stage where we are seeking approval from the council for the final map, which is to be recorded with the county, which would establish the subdivision and the subdivided lots and the public improvements that are to be dedicated over to the city as part of the project. And so attached to the agenda, we've included the actual map as well as the subdivision agreement, which would bind the developer to construct the public improvements, which would include new streets and water, sewer,
curb, gutter, sidewalk improvements, and had them, and also a park and a detention basin within the development, which would then be dedicated over to the city for maintenance. And so the staff is recommending that the council approve by motion track number 2020-01 and authorize staff to sign the map, and also to accept the right-of-way dedications for all of the roads and other public improvements and dedications identified in the map, and authorize the city manager to sign the subdivision improvement agreement with the developer for those public improvements.
Is there any questions for Fernando? Comments?
I do have a comment.
Okay.
I am supporting this subdivision, but at the same time, I would like to make a recommendation. By looking at this project, I believe that, we were not informed previously regarding sites, and we didn't have any information until, the last meeting where the project was presented with more like a defined location. I would like to be notified in advance if we can about locations, because there may be other locations that may be more suitable to benefit other areas in the city that need infrastructure like sidewalks, streets, and gutters, curbs and gutters. So I believe that if we plan in advance, when a big project like this one comes into our community and we plan it in advance, we can decide which areas will benefit the most from a project like this.
Thank you, Councilman Preciado. If I may just elaborate on your comment. We had been working with the developer for several months prior to them beginning the project, and they did look at several sites that just for, one reason or another, financial, economic, or just practical reasons, didn't pan out. I know they were looking at sites in the northwest part of town. As you know, there are very limited sites that are available for development within town, and they actually would have preferred other sites that didn't have to go through the environmental process, but this one was available, was for sale by the owner, and so there's other considerations, and we absolutely did do as much due diligence along with the developer because they are putting a lot of money into this project. So I appreciate your comments, and I think we'll seek to keep you informed for future projects as early as we know about the project.
Yes, the specific reason I'm making this comment is because not too far from there, we all know about this area between Union and Corcoran, which is just next to the site that is being projected for this project. So that area already has property owners who are lacking infrastructure to build homes, and they're willing to build homes, but because of improvements and infrastructure, they're not able to. And I think if that's how could have been done right across from that location, probably several property owners could benefit from that project.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions or comments? Okay, if not, we need a motion to include this 3 items. Motion approved track 2020-01 and authorize the city clerk to sign the map. By motion, accept the right-of-way dedication for all roads and other public dedication. And thirdly, resolution authorize the city manager to sign the subdivision improvement agreement.
Can all 3 of those be done at the same time, or do we have to do them separately?
Well, it just make the motion, including all of them.
It can be combined.
Then I move we approve all 3 of those.
Very good. Okay. So it'll be resolution 2020-19, 20
correct.
and 21.
Actually, the first 2 are number 1 and 2 are by motion. Item 3 is resolution. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll second that motion and that resolution.
Very good.
Councilman Ramirez,
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez,
Aye.
Councilman Preciado,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Woolley,
Aye.
Mayor Ovalle,
Aye. 5-0. Okay. Thank you, Fernando. So we move on to item 11C, consider amendment to agreement number 1381 with Harbison International for mechanical and electrical design changes for Avenal Community Center Phase 2 and 3.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the council, this item is presented to you for consideration with regard to the community center that is currently under construction. The engineering and the design on phase 1 and phase 2 were done over a year ago, and the electrical engineer on the project at that time determined that 3-phase power was going to be required for the building in order to supply enough power for everything that we were planning, especially the elevator that's supposed to go in the building to provide access to the mezzanine. Once we started working with PG&E, they gave us a very rough estimate of what that was going to cost to put a new power pole as well as a transformer and run all that electrical wiring to the building. They gave us a very rough estimate of about $250,000 for the work. And we started around 250,000 and potential savings here and there, depending on our projected energy use. And so we started considering other ways to reduce that cost. And so we went back to the elevator companies and tried to find out whether the elevators themselves could actually be modified or if they could accommodate single phase power, contrary to what the electrical engineer was determining. And they said that yes, it would increase the cost of the elevator, but it was possible to run on single phase power, which means that we would no longer have to incur the cost of putting up a power pole and as large transformer. We are going to have to reduce the size of the service panel from about 1200 amps to 400 amps, but we should have, and we're also going to have to redesign the mechanical equipment, which includes the air conditioning, the heating, some of the other items that run on electricity within the building. But at the end of the day, we estimate that we would be saving roughly $80,000 to $125,000 by going this route. We would have this upfront cost of paying the engineer an additional $9,800 as provided in the quote that's in the packet to redesign the mechanical equipment and the site plan. But at the end of the day, it would be a tremendous savings compared to what we would have had to spend with 3-phase power. So at this time, we are recommending that the council consider and approve the change order for the engineering for phase 2 and phase 3 to modify the plans to reflect single phase power to the building. And I should note, we did receive, surprisingly, PG&E has been working very quickly on this on this project for us, which we appreciate. And so they're kind of on hold right now. They have already provided the drawings based on the 3-phase power. And so we let them know that there's a potential that we might go with single phase. And so they're just waiting for us to let them know which way we're going to go. So that's kind of where we're at. And we're hoping that you'll consider this proposal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Fernando. Is there any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know a lot about electricity,
Neither do I.
but if going down to the 1-phase and running what we're going to be running on that, does that mean if somebody uses the elevator at the same time the coolers or air conditioners are running, that it blows?
No, from my understanding,
That happened to my house if I hit 3 things on one wall.
yeah, no, I understand. I think the service panel and all the equipment will be sufficient to be able to run concurrently without affecting service to other, parts of the building. It would just, we would just have to design all the electrical equipment accordingly. We are still going to have a transformer. It's just not going to be as large. And again, I mentioned the service panel, which is going to be smaller. As everything that I've been told, based on we're going to have pretty small loads, relatively speaking. So everything should work fine with single phase power. And if Scott's still on the line, if he has more background on that, feel free to
That
chime
was
in.
my next question. What about the kitchen? When we start putting on all the equipment for the kitchen in,
Okay.
and people bring their own electric things and plug them in.
That's Mayor Pro Tem Woolley. The single phase versus 3-phase. 3-phase electric motors actually draw a little bit less wattage. They're a little bit more efficient, and that's why they initially designed it as 3-phase. But with the extra cost to get 3-phase to the building, they didn't know. We ran into the same problem when we did the animal shelter with gas, because we do not have PG&E available on hydro. We have rectified that situation because we actually had a meter at the Public Works building. But 3-phase versus single phase is going to use a little bit more electricity, but we have kind of weighed the costs, 3-phase versus single phase. In the equipment's actually cheaper to buy when it's single phase versus 3-phase. So there's initial cost in air conditioners and things like that. The kitchen is actually designed with the stove, the range tops, the ovens, and the water heater are all gas. So there's not going to be an issue with overloading a 400 amp system on the building, because the kitchen is set up for all of the big appliances to be gas. Any of the electric appliances, we will have enough. Our service panel will be large enough to accommodate everything in the kitchen.
Okay, you say so. I believe you.
Any other question or comment? 3-phase is very expensive to install. And, I'm glad to see this and surprised that this engineer insisted on that. 3-phase is primarily used for, high industrial equipment. So, but with that in mind, is there any other questions or comments? If not, we need a motion to approve the change order for this.
Mayor Ovalle, it's actually a resolution to amend the agreement. Thank you.
Very good. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to amend the resolution as presented to go from 3-phase to a single phase.
Very good. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Very good. Roll call, please.
Councilman Ramirez.
Aye.
Councilman Hernandez.
Aye.
Councilman Preciado.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Woolley.
Aye.
Mayor Ovalle.
Aye. 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So move on to item 12, which is correspondence, announcements, and closing comments. Is there any correspondence, please?
None at this time.
Okay, very good. Mr. Councilman Ramirez, closing comments?
I just wanted to thank Councilmember Hernandez for the food distribution that took place yesterday, along with the help provided by the city. I think times of uncertainty like we were having right now. It's a time when we need to work together to help the community, and that was something very good. I saw the line was from the Veterans Hall down to San Joaquin and up to the 33. You know, while still following the CDC guidelines, social distancing, face mask and gloves. That was very good for the community, and want to thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Hernandez.
Yeah,
Closing comments?
I want to thank, the police department for helping out. Chief was out there directing traffic. I also want to thank Public Works. They did a great job. I also want to thank Anthony for just being out there too and helping with the distribution of a poster that he made. And just on behalf of all the community of Avenal, I just want to thank everybody that helped out and make it happen, because right now, as you guys know, a lot of people are not working, and also due to, some people are not working because of the issue going on. Also, some people are not working because of the rain. And right now in Avenal, it's hard times for food. So I'm glad that it happened, and I hope that it happens next month again. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Councilman Preciado, closing comments?
Yes, I also would like to thank city staff, police department, everybody as a whole. The community is really sticking together. There's also issues with the prices, especially with some of the products like eggs. I believe they didn't double or triple the price. So I would like to see if code enforcement is actually taking action, checking those stores to see if they're abiding by the emergency resolution that we approved. And if not, I would like to see officials to call the district attorney, Mr. Becerra's office, and see if we need to pursue, and get those businesses back into being proactive with our community. I also believe there was also a food distribution at the Catholic Church, and I also want to thank the community sticking together and helping each other. I also would like to see and recommend if there could be a program where we can actually check our seniors. Like I believe long time ago there was a program for the sheriff department have like some kind of a program where they used to go and check seniors to see if they were okay. So maybe something needs to be done at this time.
Okay.
I did ask our chief basically the same question, and it is being done. Are you okay? And it's being done through dispatch, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Mrs. Woolley, closing comments?
I really don't have any. The comment about the eggs, Mr. Preciado, just a reminder that this is Easter week, which eggs traditionally do this. I don't think it's right in the midst of all this other stuff, but this is pretty normal for Easter week. Nobody's going to go on Easter egg hunts much, I don't think. But I have no other comments. Thank you.
Okay. City Manager, closing comments?
I actually have a couple, thank you. First, I would like to thank Anthony Lopez and Humberto Bermudez for setting all of this up with all the updated technology. They have been phenomenal to work with, and it's been a real learning curve for me. So I can't believe we're sitting here and actually conducting a meeting, but yet we're all in different locations. So I do want to thank both of them. I had asked Tony if he would explain exactly, we understand what's going on with the meeting, but there's actually more going on at the theater. And again, I would ask that Tony would provide some comments on how that was done.
Sure.
I would like to thank the City Council for your patience and your support. This is, again, totally different, and we've had to transition back and forth as to how do we make the meetings work, how do we communicate, how do we respond, and still stay within the guidelines of the governor's orders. So thank you all very much for that, for your flexibility. I would like to announce that City Hall will be closed tomorrow, April 10th. It's for Good Friday. Otherwise, City Hall, the lobby is closed, but City Hall and city operations are actually still going forward. We're open Monday through Friday. We have 2 employees that are currently working from home. Otherwise, all of our employees are on duty. I do have one comment, a very important one. Mero Valle, working with Tony Lopez this morning, actually there is a video on the website and also on YouTube, and it's regarding an address to our community regarding, at this time, because of the COVID-19 virus. And I have to say he did a great job. And Tony, I want to thank you too for putting that all together. So if you get a chance, look on YouTube or look on the city website and you'll hear Mero Valle's address both in English and Spanish. I would like to thank our chief, Rusty Stivers, for his leadership with the EOC and for keeping us in order and keeping his team together. Again, this is a different time, a different type of emergency that we're dealing with, but he has shown great leadership, and I want to thank him for that. And I want to thank all city staff. It's been difficult, just like it is with every agency, because we're just trying to take care of business and then still trying to abide by all the rules and regulations and orders that are in place. I just really appreciate them and all that they do every day. So thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mel. City Clerk, closing comment?
None at this time.
Okay. I'd just like to thank the community for their patience. And I am very grateful that they are following the CDC guidelines. I was able to go to the credit union today, and I saw that, you know what, without much effort, people were keeping their distance and were listening to the tellers that only so many people inside the building. There were no arguments, just compliance, which is great to see. And I'm sure most of the community will feel that way, that we need to follow these guidelines to curb and eventually, end with this pandemic. So thank you for all the participants. Ms. Veronica, thank you for all that information. Ms. Yvette, thank you for your presentation as well. And Chief, good job. And city staff, to me, you're all essential workers that have performed above and beyond. Tony and Humberto, great job. And this is meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.